Supernote has finally done it, released a piece of hardware. The company has been very hesitant to release hardware and instead focuses on software, much like the likes of Remarkable and Fujitsu, for example. This is the Supernote A6X Nomad. Thank you to Supernote for sending us this sample. From an advertising perspective, this unit is looking pretty good. Tons of work solutions, Amazon Kindle on board to expand this outside of just being an e-note, and the note-taking capability and prowess that comes with the territory of owning a renowned Supernote. But is it enough to contend with the big boys in 2024, as the landscape has turned hyper-competitive in the past 5 years? Let's check out the Nomad, starting with the build. So the box is very low profile, it's actually quite nice, and you have a Supernote logo on the bottom, and this should magnetically snap open like that. You have some barcodes on the side, and the back says, "Feel fine, free, fun." And then on the back it says, "Assembled in China, designed with love by Supernote team and community." Very nice. So let's open this up and see what we have here. Warm reminder, the transparent shell is prone to scratches, and that can impact its aesthetics, therefore be sure to handle with caution. Yeah, that's very nice to give a little reminder there. They do say that I'm not a pen here, because Supernote is actually one of the only companies in the game that doesn't give you a stylus pen with purchase, which does bother a lot of us at Good eReader here. I do like the fact that they have given you this very small Phillips head screwdriver and have logoed it as Supernote. So you would put that on your hand and it swivels like that. So a lot of people that are into computers would be very familiar with these, and this is used to open up the back. And yes, there's no pen or tips or anything like that in here. They make you buy that separately. It says quick start guide, don't panic. They've added a lot of these things that's like helping you along the way, you know, designed with love, feel fun, warm reminder. I actually like these kind of little tiny tidbits of we're here to help you kind of approach. It's very nice. You have USB port, power, sidebars, and still no audio of any kind. Supernote, from a hardware perspective, is very underachieving. They've been lagging behind the rest of the competition for as long as we can remember, basically. I do like this USB cable with a 90-degree bend. This one looks super classy and high-tech. It's also stamped and engraved with a Supernote logo, so that's really nice. And everything's really wrapped in paper, so that's amazing. It's all just kind of this wax paper. So this is a very lightweight unit, and they sent us the clear one. So of course you're going to be able to pop those open once you take the back off. And this allows you to change things out like the battery and your SD card right there. So it kind of really shows you a very transparent look at the whole thing. Now, because the screws for access are all the same, you could essentially dismantle the whole thing and service your unit. It is not advised to do it yourself, although they give you literally the tool to do that. So it's a strange approach all the same, but let's check this out, and we are going to do an unboxing and review all in one, of course. It also says do not remove the film attached to the screen. They've told you that a couple times because they have their self-healing rubber on here, and you can take advantage of that using the ceramic pen, which they did not send us because, well, Supernote doesn't come with pens, as we said. To give you frame of reference, an e-book reader is around 200 grams and a 10.3-inch e-note is around 300 something, and this one is coming in at 269. So for a 7.8, it is exactly where it needs to be. If we assess the body of it, the front is very high quality. You get that film that they have pioneered, that kind of restorative film. These sidebars, they've kind of had that since the very beginning with the A5. The backing, although translucent, feels incredibly cheap. It's not a very high quality back, although the front is quite nice, so I'm a little bit torn when it comes to that. And I probably has to do with the fact that it is transparent. If you have a different backing, you might get a little bit more texture, but it leaves tons of fingerprints and just feels kind of like a dollar store backing. You only get 4 languages when you get to the UI portion of everything. You get English, Japanese, simplified, and traditional Chinese. You also have to choose your device management server. We're just going to choose US. The sidebar is proprietary to this company. They're the only guys that do this collectively throughout all their units. You have activate the sidebar by sliding down on the right. One finger slide up will do a refresh. And then on the left, you have quick page turning and activate the region eraser. So that's the region eraser by circling around. Supernote has a lot of those things, like when you draw a star, it'll make the star a perfect star despite your handwriting prowess. So it's actually quite a nice thing to have, both of these. One finger slide down on the right. You'll see that it kind of takes you through everything now, and then you can go new note, because this is a note-taking unit first, foremost, and only. It doesn't do anything else, so they really do prioritize the note-taking solutions of it all, which is silly because we actually had to get a pen ourselves from the Goody Reader coffee cup full of pens. We have to choose one and make sure it works with this unit. And what we're going to go with is one of their collaboration pens. This is what they sell on their website. They customized this one specifically for me, actually, when we went out to Tokyo to meet them. This is the Lamy digital stylus. This one is very interesting because it really only has the top third, which is the communication between the Wacom and the actual digitizer. The rest is just for weight purposes. So you can go like this and get a lot more weight at the back end, or you can take it off entirely and have a little bit more of a lightweight experience. So let's check it out. We have some different pen needle points, we have ink pen, and we have marker. All of these have multiple colors, which is nice, and different pen thicknesses. The needlepoint pen has different points, almost like those mechanical pencils. You have a 1, 0.6, 0.3, and 0.1. That's going to be some pinpoint stuff. We're going to look at that in a little bit. And you have thicknesses, of course, and the different colors right there. If you go down to the second pen, you can customize up to 3 pens, taking a page out of the book of Fujitsu, where you can have the 2 pens at the top. And Onyx gives you 5 pens nowadays, so this is nothing new. They're just kind of sticking with the kind of industry standard of what people expect to see out of their note-taking experience. You do have the eraser, and remember, you can use that sidebar to activate region erase. You also have area erase and erase everything. Down here you have the lasso tool, and you have some layers. You can make a bunch of new layers, including the background layer / template layer, and this will be a good opportunity to look at the templates themselves. You have several pages of templates. This is really nice how they give you a ton of preloaded things I've never seen before. Tianjige, which is probably for Chinese practicing of kanji characters. You have hand sketch, diary, letter format, list format, etc. You can swap those as you see fit. You have undo, redo, and you can click this to get all of your pages, which is going to give you a table of contents thumbnail view of everything. And you have minus a page, which deletes the entire page. This one will delete swipe, so you can only have 1 finger, 2 fingers, or get rid of the touch capacitive layer altogether. Finally, you have this drop down, which gives you a ton more features. There's a lot of things on this, guys. You have add keyword, insert page before, insert after, cut current page, copy current page. So you can copy an entire page and insert it after one of your other pages as to navigate them and reorganize them. Something a lot of manufacturers actually don't do. And you have full screen. So that's all for the settings. Finally, there's the very top one, which we eluded. And this one is your file. So this will be all of your Supernotes. Clicking back, going to our note, let's check the overall pen to paper feel of this unit. This is a very interesting feel, and actually feels like you're almost using a Stadler pen, regardless of what pen you're using. This screen, although regenerative and gel layered, is very sticky. This is the stickiest screen we have ever reviewed. Look, we can move the whole unit around utilizing nothing but the pen tip. It's a subjective opinion if it is considered good or bad. It doesn't feel real. It almost feels like you're writing on a rubber surface, which doesn't feel that rewarding compared to something like a Fujitsu. Fujitsu and the Sony Linfini shell is the absolute pinnacle of the note-taking feel. Remarkable feels great too. You get a lot of that grittiness. You get a lot of that grit when used in conjunction with the composite tips, whereas the Supernote has ceramic tips, which is very hard. And you actually can't use the Supernote line of pens on other units, which is a shame because the Supernote pens at one point were the best pens on the market. Now they've collaborated into other things like the Lamy, which is a good pen but just uses a plastic tip. So the whole kind of combination between the gel layer being so thickly piled and having to really dip down into it to get the pen to work properly, it's a little bit concerning because it's a extremely thick and tiresome writing experience. You have to put significantly more force into the strokes in compared to something that you can glide on the page. And that's just a nitpicky thing of ours, because if we just said, yeah, it works, it's good, well, that's not going to be very productive now. We have to pick out the shortcomings and the pros and cons of these units. I love the 0.1 needle pencil. That is such a thin line. The downside is because it's so thick of a layer that my strokes cut numerous times. And what I mean is you can't relax and really get your artistry going, because look, it doesn't even work unless you're pressing so hard to the point where it's stressful on your hand. This is a mix of a huge positive and a huge negative. This is an extremely fast latency, which means it's a low latency, which means it's a fast response. This is incredible, and the pinpoint accuracy is pixel by pixel. It is incredible the amount of detail you can get on this thing. But the downside is that you can't rely on it to always pick everything up. These strokes, I've never lifted my finger from the page. You can hear that. But my strokes cut out so frequently that I need to hit this redo button and undo button and be like, okay, let's try this again, because I really can't leave it to this unit to pick up what I'm putting down 100% of the time, despite how good it actually looks. Checking out the settings menu, I really appreciate when they put things like Dropbox and Google Drive on there, much like a Kobo unit, because what that means is allows you to sign into your Dropbox here, sign into your Dropbox on your phone or your PC, and seamlessly use your documents on both devices. So you could load things in that people send you on your phone or your PC setup and access them through your Supernote. That is a high quality addition to the back-end unit. You have Wi-Fi, of course, which is pretty simple. You have My Device, which is just patents, certifications, and Bluetooth. You can do Bluetooth on or off. That's really nice. Direct transfer applies to the Supernote partner application. You have input as well, which is going to be a lot of your back-end stuff with your language, your keyboard, your stylus, your gestures, etc. Your gestures can also be checked up on when it comes to the side bars. Security and privacy, you have screen lock, password, usage and diagnosis, and again, you can toggle your media location multiple different places. This is really cool too, I've found. No load shutdown. If there's no activity in 20 seconds, the system will be in no load shutdown. In this state, the device is woken up by pen down and pen down speed. That's really interesting. It's these little things like that that adds things to the e-reader culture, because e-readers in the recent kind of present have maxed out in terms of what they can do as products. So it's nice to have these little kind of things that add to the experience overall. You have your Chauvet operating system, which is a type of Android. It's built off of Android, but not quite. You have your storage, clear cache, power, factory reset, and you have some apps. My Apps is not in the traditional sense that you're thinking. It is not an app store like you would be able to download Google Play and Google Play Books and read manga and stuff like that. You literally just have Atelier or Kindle, which we are going to download right now because it's the only available app on this unit. You can't sideload in your own apps, and there's no apps screen for you to manage anything. So it is literally just that. So keep that in mind. They do have an app store, which only 2 apps there. You have the Supernote partner app. Of course, you scan on your phone, iOS or Android, and get it on your phone. You have feedback and then support. Supernote's been really good at support, so you contact them, they'll be able to help you out with things like that. So you can rest assured that when you get this unit, you're not going to be left in the dark. Thank goodness they put Amazon Kindle on here. What that does is now changes your unit into an ebook reader. Before it was kind of a one-trick pony, which it's still by its inherent core, it is. But now you get the ability to read manga, read graphic novels, read magazines, ebooks, and access your Kindle entire library and the Kindle ecosystem right on the unit. Because what they've done is, because they're using an Android operating system as its base you can access Kindle. So you can go to the library, you can go to the store and download anything. And because this has Wi-Fi and because this has an adequate amount of storage, you can now download and make purchases based off of your Amazon account credentials, your credit card, your address, etc. That was a very critical move by them that I believe they put on the A6X from yesteryear. But this is great because now you get an e-reading experience. The downside is that it's incredibly slow. For 2024, this is a very slow ebook experience. This whole unit just struggles with its speed because everything you do inches along and just lags, and it is not indicative of a current product. What they have down is the latency speed when it comes to the Wacom digitizer, but the overall processes of the capacitive and the movement of the back processes of what you do and what you tell this unit to do are so just incredibly slow that when you click on something, it takes seconds for it to react and actually trigger. So while it is nice that it has these added benefits of being an ebook reader, being a manga reader, it doesn't come without its caveats. Swiping the right side down brings up this sidebar, and it kind of almost takes the place of the top bar, although they do have a top bar as well with icons that you can do various things: search, cloud, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. But when you do swipe the side down, you get this really nice kind of quick access. So this will give you files, digest, mail, calendar, settings, and Kindle. Mail is going to be your email server, so you can do Gmail, Microsoft Exchange, Outlook, and other. You can actually input your own IMAP, but you can't do POP3. So it is kind of nice that they give you all these little bonuses that makes this more than just a simple e-note. Although there is one final thing we'll touch on before we wrap. Because this doesn't have a glow light, you would expect the experience to be quite surface level, but what they've done is they've made it flush screen and they've added that gel layer as their patented kind of trademark. But what all that means is that you get the result that the screen is very far away from you with a significant gap and drop shadow around the entire bezel, because the bezel is actually laying much further on top of where the screen actually is. So the sight of your eyes have to travel further down to hit the electronic paper display compared to other readers that put it quite surface level. All things considered, it was a nice attempt by Supernote to battle with the bosses when it comes to the e-note world. But the reality is that Supernote has fallen short yet again. And unfortunately, every single pro comes with a myriad of cons to combat it. Yes, they give you a Supernote store, but it only has 2 apps. This unit lacks features that other devices have had for years and eliminates the capability of making your unit your own due to the hesitancy to get into Android. There's no glow light, there's no audio, there's no side loading of apps, the gel layer is so thick and grippy, the screen looks far away, the device is unfathomably slow, and they don't even give you a pen at time of purchase, as you have to spend upwards of $100 on a pen of your choice after the fact. Also, the stylus pens you do choose from the company can't even be used on other devices, as their disclaimer says it will scratch them, making them proprietary and quite expensive. The device with the clear backing that we have received, although is one of the most genius build ideas we've seen in the industry in years, is built incredibly cheap, and they give you a screwdriver to dismantle the entire thing regardless of skill set knowledge. It just seems like they're all over the place with this device, as they haven't found anything that fits their identity to a T. Supernote has had a pretty spaced out release schedule of devices, and it almost sounds like they should just stick to software instead of making new hardware. Thanks for watching.